Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Tuesday, March 17th, 2020, St. Patrick's Day, the real St. Patrick's Day. And we came into a mess. Miss Shauna and I, the leprechaun did come. And I'm sending you some pictures so you can see what a mess he did in here. Boys and girls, you see what he did? And he left us all these coins. You're going to get a coin when you come back to school soon. I miss you already, and I know Miss Shauna does. But let's read a book about St. Patrick's Day, about a leprechaun. Clever Tom and the Leprechaun. But this leprechaun isn't dressed like a leprechaun. He's in disguise. This book is by Linda Swoots. It's called Clever Tom and the Leprechaun. One fine day, on the harvest of Tom Fitzpatrick took a ramble down the clickety-clack, he heard through the hedge some tiptoeing closer. He went to look. The crackling sound stopped when Tom peeped through the bushes. And in the shadows, what did he see? Why, a big gallon pitcher and a tiny little man with brown leather apron and three-cornered hat. There he is. Up the small man climbed on his wee wooden stool and dipped his little pinky into the crock. Then he settled down with his full mug beside him to hammer on the heel of a fairy's little shoe. Did you know that leprechauns fix fairies' shoes? By the powers, thought Tom, it's a leprechaun. If I catch him and scare him, he'll have to give me his gold. Since I'm a clever fella, that should be simple. Before the sun sets, I'll have to have my fortune made. Tom stared at the leprechaun and tried not to blink. He knew that if he looked away, the old man would escape. Then he crept up quiet near, tiptoe, and tipped his hat politely, saying, "Good day to you, neighbor. Blessings on your work." Thank you kindly." He just kept on tapping away at the shoe. Tom moved his head closer while he smiled very sweetly and said, "Today is a holiday. You should have to work." The leprechaun frowned. And answered Tom sharply, "If I do, that's my business and none of yours." Instead of pestering me, "Young man, you ought to be watching your father's fields. Look there. The cows have broken into the oats. See? They're knocking down the corn all about." Cows in the cornfield? Tom's head started to turn. It could be a trick. Scary. But he wasn't fooled by the leprechaun's trick. Quickly, he grabbed the sly fellow and cried, "Now you are my prisoner. Tell me, where is your gold?" The leprechaun wiggled and twisted and wormed. "I am just a poor man." But Tom had held him fast. "You and I both know you're lying," said Tom, and he made a fist and frowny face. Look at how he's angry. Finally, the leprechaun quit squirming and said, "Tom Fitzpatrick, you are too clever for me. I see you are after my buried treasure, so I'll have to show you where it is, hidden." I still think it's a trick. With the eye on the bitty man locked in his fist, Tom followed where the leprechaun led him. He tramped over the hill and under the hedges and through the ditch and across the pit bog. At last, just when Tom feared he'd been hoodwinked, that means tricked, he found himself in the middle of a great field of weeds. Those little flowers are weeds, boys and girls. Dig there, said the leprechaun, pointed to the bush. Deep under the belonging is where I put me gold. Thunderation, said Tom. I need to fetch my spade, but when I return, I'll be lost. There are 40 acres of weeds here, and each plant looks just like the other. How is he gonna know where to dig? Still watching the leprechaun, Tom figured out a plan. He tied his bright red garter on the bush. Swear your old rascal that you won't take this off the bush as I run and get my shovel. That I will, he said. I promise, said the little man, and he raised his hand. Now, since I have shown you where my treasure is, I don't suppose you'll need me anymore. No, said Tom. My fortune is made. You may go. Good luck. Go with you. Then, goodbye, Tom Fitzpatrick, he said. May you do much good with what you find. Should he have let the leprechaun go? I don't know. I still think he's going to trick him. Away Tom ran as fast as he could, and he figured out how he'd spend the gold. Then he went all the way back with his shovel to dig under the weeds. But when he got back, he saw a red string, a garter on each single one of those weeds. Now, the leprechaun did promise he wouldn't take the ribbon off, but he put red ribbon on all the bushes. Now he doesn't know which one it is. Tom dug under the weeds, but nothing was buried under the bush. He dug and dug, east, west. Still, he found no treasure. The harvest moon rose. He dug north, south, nothing, no treasure. When the sun came up, Tom saw he'd dug 100 holes, and tired Tom Fitzpatrick knew he couldn't find the gold, so he gave up and he headed home. He thought he was going to be rich. From then on, Tom always carried his shovel, and he never stopped listening for that tap, tap, tap in the field every chance he got. He'd tell how he nearly got a pot of gold, and since I am a clever fellow, he said, Tom would end his tale. The next time I catch that leprechaun, I'll have my fortune made. And look how old Tom's gotten. It's been a long time since he heard that noise. And now you know how leprechauns trick you. Now we have some leprechaun stuff to do. Here we're going to count how many shamrocks, you remember how many shamrocks, leprechauns, and mushrooms you find in the picture. For pre-K4, for the lions. And the bears are going to color the shamrocks green and put them on a paper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 order. And then later on, the lions are going to find the opposites. You're going to cut this off and you're going to place them where they go with the opposite. And Mrs. Perez is going to send you a video on opposites.